Iran, Brittle alive, continues with Winston Burdett reporting the Shah's land reform program.
You are watching a man defeudalize 28,000 acres by dividing them among 1,600 Turkoman farmers. This land reform ceremony occurred at Bojnourd in northeastern Iran. The distribution of royal lands always takes the form of a full-dress ceremony, with the Shah in the central role as the dispenser of regal bounty, with high dignitaries of state ranged about him, and with his tenant farmers in their gala best for the occasion, filing up one by one to receive from his hand the deeds to their new properties. The Shah's estates amount to 5% of the country's total arable land, and his intention is to distribute within the next 3 years every arable acre in the 700 to 800 peasant villages that he owns. But the royal lands are not given away. The peasant receives about 15 acres and pays approximately $20 per acre in 25 equal yearly installments without interest. Thus far, the Shah has distributed close to 400,000 acres, and 22,000 tenant farmers have become landowners under the program. This remains Iran's most notable step in social reform, her boldest effort to reshape her feudal society. And it is possible to visualize what it means by examining two villages side by side. We took our cameras to a redistributed village, Korin, actually one of 12 reformed villages that have joined in a single cooperative, and then to the unreformed, undistributed village of Sarukhane, which has roughly the same acreage. Sarukhane is owned and dominated by a landlord, a relatively small Kurdish Khan named Abdullah Gadiri. He has 3 wives, and he plans to take a 4th, the maximum he is allowed as a devout Muslim. He owns 2 other villages, and he told us he has 1,500 people working for him, men, women, and children. In the feudal village, the old Kurdish carts with their hewn wooden wheels, just as they were centuries ago. In the redistributed new village, American tractors paid for by a long-term loan which the village cooperative got from the Agricultural Bank, which gets its money partly from American .4 aid. In the old village, the wooden plow that barely scratches the topsoil. The classic pattern for the sharing of crops in feudal Persia is 1/5 of the crop to the farmer, 1/5 to the landlord, 1/5 to the man who supplies the water, 1/5 to the man who supplies the seed, and the last 1/5 to the supplier of the beasts of burden. For most of Iran's tenant farmers, the only hope and goal in life is to survive at a subsistence level. In the Khan's village, only 32 boys out of more than 100 children get their learning in one classroom from one teacher. In the redistributed village, 68 boys and 59 girls go to a new school with 6 teachers, including 2 young ladies aged 17, specially trained in Tehran. Even the Khan of Sarukhane, with all his authority over his people, is subject to the power of a greater Khan in the next village, the head of this particular Kurdish family, the overlord of 60 villages, leader and spokesman of some 30,000 Kurds, over whom he still exercises a large measure of his old feudal domination. In the distributed village, elementary democracy is coming in, an entirely new social experience, as the farmers, without a landlord and master to guide them, must now guide themselves. This is the equivalent of a meeting of the town council, representing all 12 villages in the farmers' cooperative. The young man in the business suit is from the Royal Agricultural Bank, and the animated discussion is sparked by the unwillingness of the farmers to let the central authority have too much of a say in the running and the financing of their cooperative. An ancient argument that goes on even here between farmers and the federal authority. We feel that translation of this debate would be superfluous. The only obvious winner is the new spirit of democracy, of open government and open discussion.